Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Ultimate Apocalypse cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 6-player free-for-all on the streets of Vogan. Playing as the Imperial Guard, we've got Empty Rage 42 and Dr. Shez TTV. We have got Topper and we have got G.I. Jeff playing as the Tyranids. We've got Guy playing as the Sisters of Battle. And rounding off all the players, we've got MLG's Lebny Free playing as the Dark Eldar. So it is indeed a 6-player free-for-all on quite a small map, I do have to say. Not much room to manoeuvre, so going to see some early game aggression, I imagine, from lots of players, although we do have Guy over here, which is a nice little, Guy and G.I. Jeff over here, a nice little distance between their left and rightmost counterparts, but they are quite close to each other over this neck of the woods. It'll be quite an interesting game. I do quite like how the Imperial Guard are spawned next to each other. The Tyranids are kind of spawned next to each other, so it might be a case of these guys battling it out and seeing who's the superior of either faction. And I do believe that in this Ultimate Apocalypse game, the Alliance feature might be on. The thing that way you go on the diplomacy and you're able to make friends. I think if you beat someone into submission enough, then they basically become part of your gang, so to speak. Either way, Empty Rage. It's full of rage today. It's got his conscripts going straight over to the Mandrakes. Takes all 15 of them to kill one Mandrake over a period of time, but they do get a decap. But then the horses also come in as well. And that's just too much for just 3 lads to deal with. So they will run back home as much as they can. Definitely not an MLG moment for any of these boys. Warriors will come over, but they are now fighting in the heavy cover. Also that defense bonus you gain from ranged attacks when you're in melee. That will still scare them away, just enough. They've got the decap on the strategic point, and that is all they need to achieve at the moment. How many strategic points are there inside a person's base? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say 4 even Stevens all across the board. Although I could be wrong, it is quite hard to tell. And it will also be hard to tell what kind of engagements are going on, considering that everyone's going to be red, with the exception of one person. Got some more conscripts, this time going over against the Spine Gaunts. Both of them being more or less the same style of unit, very cheap to reinforce, very easy to kill. I feel like the Spine Gaunts are a bit more combat efficient with their melee stuff, he says. A little Thunderdome in the middle. Obviously no one can occupy. Can people occupy it? Oh, that'd be a fun place to be. Sat in the middle. Defended on either side. But yeah, at the moment I imagine the Tyranids will probably just want to chill out. Get their intense economy. Oh no, never mind, they are not chilling out. They're not chilling out at all. G.I. Jeff coming off the Raveners and the Termagants. It is a beautiful thing indeed. Quite like how a chap called Guy is playing the Sisters. There is some sweet rapture in that. Missionary's been bashed by the Mandrakes as well, so Guy seeming to be assaulted on both sides here. Which is not what they want, really. But that is the risk that you have when playing in in any kind of free-for-all. It seems that maybe G.I. Jeff is having a little bit of mercy. Deciding to go for the Dark Eldar as well. Which the Tyranids not known for their mercy, believe it or not. The Hive Mind maybe deciding that the Dark Eldar are probably juicier targets to go for. I wonder what the taste difference is from the perspective of a Tyranid when comparing the tainted flesh of the warriors versus the supple thighs of the Sisters, but not enough for them to deal with, especially with that Tower of Loathing firing down upon them. You have a tunnel, but that is being spotted. Sisters now going to come over and see what they could do potentially. Don't know if they really want to get up the ire of anyone. But Guy is feeling a bit aggressive today. Just wanted to see what he could do. But the Ecclesiarchal Servitors, who can come over and start deconstructing buildings, which is quite a useful ability for builders to have. Also much easier to get it off in Ultimate Apocalypse, since all builders can basically have multiple models in their units. There they are, just deconstructing it. Spanners going everywhere. And that is a destroyed Tower of Loathing, which gives the Sisters a unique access to building bashing in the early game. Laying of hands upon the Sisters. We've got 2 random Sisters just minding their own business. They will get some more in their squads as well. And yeah, the Dark Eldar not looking too confident. Now got, what was that, 12? That's too much math. 12, 24, 27, minus the horses. Not counting them. Don't know if they count as 2. But yeah, the Dark Eldar having the thick end of the wedge, so to speak. They have to fight off 2 people at once. Over here, the Tyranids and the pink Imperial Guard. Well, actually, there's 2 different breeds of Tyranids coming on over. Thankfully, both players who are matching factions have got very different colour schemes. So from a casting perspective, pretty darn good. The generals over here, the reconnaissance team. Got some good DPS from those boys. General obviously can't have any of his friends as he does in vanilla. He's just a unit unto himself. Now Tyranid on Tyranid action. Seeing which is the superior Tyranid strain. Accumulating extra biomass for the aggression ahead. And Hormagaunt vs Spygaunt. The Hormagaunts will win all day long. Especially when their connection to the hive mind has gone down. But a cheeky bioplasma turret just provide them a little extra ranged support. Imperial Guard seems to be chased away. Although double warriors, while not many in their number, they do provide quite a lot of DPS in the range department. And the Imperial Guard, not being the tankiest of souls, do die pretty quickly when being focused fired. Tier 2 on the way for MLG. Because I assume it's MLG. It's lowercase. I don't know whether it's some sort of language that one can only comprehend if you're not British. Which is the vast majority of them, to be honest. It's my God-given right as an Englishman not to learn another's language. Gave Korean a go. Gave Russian a go. Gave German a go. Got famous with Korean, but obviously because I lived over there for a wee while. But something tells me I probably won't ever live in Russia or Germany. They won't let me in. Not after last time. Oh, wait, a turret. It is being bamboozled by a whole bunch of boys. Flames akimbo. But we do have some potential lads being thrown in. One of the Tyranids' hive mind abilities, or hive fleet really ability, is you are able to bring forth a whole fistful of units really. But they are quite expensive. If I'm not mistaken, when you're buying units from your chambers and your production buildings, they tend to be more blue money orientated. Was buying them from the hive fleet and deep striking them in places, they are more green money orientated. I could be wrong. I might be getting my mods mixed up. We're kind of just buying time, I guess. Waiting for the Screamer Killers to show their faces. Dark Eldar seem to be holding up very nicely against the Imperial Guard, but they are still losing out on extra places from the sisters over here. They've basically got, what, 1, 2, 3 strategic points, or at least access to strategic points. Got a bit of a mischief going on here. Tyranids of the non-orange variety building up a magma vent. Well, it's taking the orange Tyranids quite a while to break it down, but they do get it eventually. But the Ripper Swarm that they're chilling over here, they could just do exactly the same again. They really wanted to. Screamer Killer, I imagine you've screamed and killed. Morale is broken, but thankfully, the Commissar Cadets telling everyone to be free of fear. And they are just attempting their best, which they are getting. The Screamer Killer is monster armor, so flamers aren't exactly directly countered against its armour. Got a couple of Chimera assault cannons, Sentinel Skywalker as well, so lovely combination of units from the Imperial Guard. Now got a Lieutenant's Command Tank as well, pressuring on in. And it's going to be hard for these other factions to really deal with the Imperial Guard factions, I imagine. Imperial Guard do have the potential to be quite aggressive in the early game while still building up their defensive potential to ward off any kind of counter-attacks. Got some scourges. Taken the tank offline fairly nicely. Horses have charged in, but if the Eldar, or sorry, the Dark Eldar, if you pardon my parlance, manage to spread themselves out a bit just to get some firing off on the Imperial Guardsmen Riders, I will take them offline, allowing them to have a more consistent firing line without it being interrupted by the horsemen. Time loading has been finished, I imagine. And the Tyranids are making a play against each other. See, in my head, you just kind of just form a natural alliance just based on having a mutually similar faction. Just out of principle. But the sisters are... Alright, the sisters are now counteracting the magma vent of Topper. I've got a couple of frag spore mines as well. Also got a cheeky Lictor minding his own business.
Big guns ready to fire.
Imperial Guard over here in a firmly defensive posture. Same with Dr. Shez as well. Yeah, it's just Tyranids. Tyranids and sisters at the moment. Seeing what kind of extra control they can gain over the map. The sisters at the moment, they're in the strongest position economically, or at least potentially economically, just because they've got an extra couple of listening posts that the other factions and other players will not had chance to get. Got that second HQ up and running. And plenty of Retributors at the moment, so... But yeah, is that 2 squads of Retributors? No, it's 1 squad of Retributors and 3 squads of Battle Sisters. But there is a infiltrated underground tunnel that the Tyranids can make use of at any one given time. At the moment, quiet reigns across the battlefield as the Tyranids go back and forth. Plenty of Screamer Killers. And it does seem that G.I. Jeff has got the vast majority of the big guys online. Halifax with a Venom Cannon and a Death Spitter. I can never remember what the weapons of the Tyranids are. Being a chap who plays Tyranids tabletop, I should know this, but I just don't. It seems that, G.I. Jeff and the sisters join forces here. But let's swap over to them just so we've got a better understanding of the battlefield at the moment. Yeah, the sisters and the Tyranids have joined forces against everyone else, really. So no need to beat someone else into submission. They've just decided to go for an early game alliance. Can always be broken, mind you. These aren't solid and firm in place. But Topper is in a bit of a shite situation. But also a good idea as well to form those alliances. Just because now G.I. Jeff knows that he doesn't have to worry about his flank. That is safe, so he can just focus on going straight on forward. The Spine Gaunts without numbers. Which is basically the same as the regular Spine Gaunts, but you get more of them in the squad. 5 Tyrant scooting on forward. As more Tyranids fall from the sky. It doesn't seem that Topper has got much really to bring out. He's expecting a big economy. That's why he's got triple Carnifex chambers. He can sit back a bit, amass an economy, and then pump out the big guys over and over. Oh, man, oh no, never mind. He's got them over here. That's where they are. Hiding in plain sight. Ravenous moving forward. But we've also got a bit of argy-bargy over here. Squad of Warriors and a Lictor Alpha taking care of some deep-stricken boys. Now, can a small army of Screamers take out all of this? You've got to bear in mind as well that the Retributors have got the big guns, but the good thing about Screamers is that they can scream. Breaking morale across the board. Sister's able to get things back on track. Also, the Hive Tower for his synapse there will cancel a lot of that. Battle Sisters and Retributors using their faith to provide little hamster balls of protection. But yeah, they do manage to fend off this assault. Mighty fine stuff. Down over here, not much is happening, just nice and chill. So far, the teams are stable. Imperial Guardsmen have yet to form an alliance. And just one tuna player. And a whole bunch of boys brought down from the sky. All hemmed in into his little pool of death. More scary things are happening. Spangos for numbers though, they're not in synapse, so the morale has been broken. But they could just bring out more. How much economy do you have, Topper? Not much, actually. But you're doing it. You're playing the feud. Gotta respect it. Fire and Flames been brought forth by the sisters. But it just seems that they don't have the numbers really to contend. There's unlimited amounts. Spygots could really do with having some sort of synapse creature in here there. One lonely Retributor in the form of a Sisters Hospitaler. Oh god, full-blown fleet of spore clusters coming in. Probably damaging friend and foe alike. I suppose it doesn't matter. From the perspective of the Tyranids, they can just... It's a matter of you're alive or dead, your biomass can still be reclaimed. Some pretty decent stuff. Topper's assault has seemed to have whittled, is that the word? Whittled away. As the emulator tank brings out the multi-melter. Big assault coming from the Imperial Guard there. Got Lieutenant's command tank. Got a couple of Ravens up in the air. Morale been broken across the board. Which will also affect the battle going on over here as well. Yes, it will. Very unfortunate. Just such a scant amount of Dark Eldar there. What have you been buying? Been buying... Oh, well, you've been buying the Ravens, haven't you? That's what you've been purchasing.
Bring forth what they deserve.
But just not enough. Not enough to really contend with. Will this be the Imperial Guard forcing the Drukhari to bend the knee? Or will they wipe them out from the face of the planet?
Conquering his name. Be free of fear, men.
Yeah, just no real chance, really. Dark Eldar unable to keep on top of the Imperial Guard due to a lack of map control. So there they are. And now Empty Rage has got all of this area to play with. So it might be a case where these guys are going to have to turn their attention from elsewhere and focus on the Imperial Guard. Definitely do not want those guys to have map control and superior economy. For all their tanks and titans and such. And their ability just to deep strike Baneblades as well. Very tricky customer to take on, even if you outnumber them. At the moment though, it's hard to really tell what battle lines there are with so many things just being deep stricken in. We have a gradual duel going on over. It looks a bit like a Tyranid disco with them all bobbing in unison. Wonder what music would calm the mind of the Hive. Maybe some Cat Stevens. Maybe some Natasha Bedingfield. Who really knows? The sisters are taking care of the big guys on the right. The orange ones taking care on the left. There was some Biovars, which is quite a brave thing. Very good against the massive infantry, but can you keep them safe? Going on over here, we do have Couple more spine guns. Another screamer killer inside the base. Biovals on both sides now, actually. Just pretty neat, pretty cool. How's the Imperial Guard going on? You're just... Yeah, these guys are just relaxing. They don't mind. They say let them fight. Once again, the sisters pushing on inside the blue... Is it blue? I'm going to call it blue. High Fleet Behemoth, innit? Question mark. Again, I should know this, but I don't. Oh dear though, those Biovals really making a difference actually. Sisters unable to really stand firm all that much. But here are the Redemptionists. Ladies in gold. Beautiful gold plate armour. They just do all the damage that they want. Saint Emmeline for indigo wings. Swift and nimble Saint. When she's not being exploded by Biovals, obviously.
Enemy spotted. What are your orders?
Right, fully upgraded Hive Tyrant as well. What upgrades have you got, young man? You've got the wings and the spongy guns. You love a good spongy gun. And the Tyranids now also having to face the wrath of the Imperial Guard. Striking while the iron's hot, striking while the iron is brittle and weak as well. And I don't think Topper would be able to hold up against a 2 vs 1 scenario for much longer, especially with these sisters getting to the ranks that they are now. But with the Imperial Guard also sticking their oar into it, that's a problem. Question is that once the Tyranids in the centre have been destroyed, and the Imperial Guard will be going up against these guys. So is it wise for him to take him on? He's taking out a buffer state, really. We'll also open him up to attack. Empty Rage is now keen to expand his influence over to Guy's section of the map. So the sisters might actually have to push, or shall I pull away from the Tyranids and come back home and defend, and that's what they're going to do, which now allows Topper to focus all his defensive energies over onto the Imperial Guard here. So it might be that Empty Rage actually saved Topper there. Tyranids using their tunnels to swiftly manoeuvre down to the southern side. And the Imperial Guard have bitten off more than they could chew, even with their double Lehman Russes. Do have a Basilisk on the outskirts there, but that's a serious amount of Biovars. Don't think they do as much damage as a Basilisk, but considering that they've got a free Biovar volley... Good lord! Oh, that's a lot of Lictors. Hold on, let me... That is just an unnecessary amount of Lictors. But G.I. Jeff, like G.I. Joe, is just coming in. There's a Lictor joke here. I'm not going to make... But, good lord. Getting a serious licking right there. I mean, it'll work, I guess. I've never seen buildings get assassinated, but there we go. Mighty stuff. Oh, Topper's probably thinking, what the hell's going on here? Quick, send the Gene Stealers out, maybe that'll do something. The Lictors, sadly, don't quite have the stones to really stay in a protracted combat. All dying pretty quickly. I mean, you know, that's the thing about this, if you don't try it, you'll never know. Anticlimactic, but definitely an interesting thing to have a ganders at. The Imperial Guard continuing to defend themselves against the Tyranids. They seem to have held them off for now there. Hive Tyrant goes down, the rest of the warriors as well. fading away. Now just the Biovores left. Sisters using the inroads that the Lictors managed to get them. The Screamer Killers continue to spawn. And all this anti-vehicle weaponry that the Retributors have are doing, well, actually, they're doing damage to the monster armor now because they're having that. Oh, what? I can never remember the ability's name. The one with the glare. Because they become anti-everything from a limited amount of time using a faith ability. And if it fits, it sits. If it works, it hurts. You're looking for more Lictors? Yes, you are. Beautiful stuff. Imperial Guard attempting to bring down the Valkyries, but they're probably thinking, wow, what a terrible place to spawn in. Valkyrie transport going to get up in the air and fly away. Yeah, there's no base harassment going on when you've got a small legion of Lictors. Good heavens, these Screamers are... they're doing it. Sure, they're losing their little production buildings here and there, but it's not bad. Considering that they're massively outnumbered against units that should, in theory, be able to break them down. Doing a damn fine job. Now I've got the Lictor supremacy coming down over here. Although I don't know if focus firing or focus stabbing, focus licking Valkyrie transport is what you want. We're gonna do it anyway. There we go. Focus on something else instead. This poor heavy weapons team. The sandbags aren't going to keep him alive, I'm afraid. But the AoE damage certainly causing Lictors problems. Thankfully there's more where they came from. You think it's over. It's not. Apparently the Valkyrie transport is just there. Not sure what it's trying to achieve with its life. And I don't think Lictors are necessarily an ideal swarming unit. We want to go on the flanks maybe rather than directly into the line of fire between a million turret emplacements. We're going to try again coming around the flanks, and it seems that Empty Rage and Topper, yes. So you have got... Right, so you are now allies, but the middle Imperial Guard plate is not allies with anyone. So they saw the problem and thought, right, well, we can't have two men coming together to wipe across the map. But, I mean, the damage has been done to Topper. Can they pull any kind of mischief off? Well, I mean, they've got a fire sword putting pressure on these sisters. Are they going to be forced back away from their assault, or will they just have to build up another army to defend, really? Bit of an artisan. But art will not save them here. Can't paint a pretty picture to solve this problem. Continuing their assault as the Trigon. Where's the Trigon gone? He's over here, rummaging around the stuff. Focusing on the Hive Spire, attempting to send it G.I. Jeff back to the Tyranid Stone Age. You see the swiping away at that Trigon. Yeah, the health is going down too quickly, so it won't really get anything killed. But I mean, the capillary veins are coming out. Like a sizable amount of capillary veins, providing an AoE buff to any nearby Tyranid units. They can get things in the form of health regen, speed boost, I think, general malaise towards enemies as well. I'm not entirely sure whether those AoE buffs tend to stack. Well, there's a Tyrant Guy, I don't normally see them, but they're here. As the Tank Legion of Empty Rage spills forth. Swiftness of St. Emmeline might not be able to do much here. As the sisters now get a taste of their own medicine. We go for a couple of incarcerators. Doing burst damage to bigger and thicker units. And Topper just sending 2 Gene Stealers into the mix. Just out of principle. This is now coming back home in a bit of a conga line, really. So while the sisters go back home, G.I. Jeff comes in to continue the assault, maintain momentum. One incarcerator there goes down straight away. Interesting now, Empty Rage went for a fire sword. Just because of its flamey nature. Does good against all the infantry and such, but a little lackluster when it comes to taking out other relic units and such. St. Emmeline runs away. And who could tell what's going on here at the moment? It's just both sides starting to throw a fire at each other. Smogren's in the mix to punch people in close combat. And the Valkyrie once again here. The Redemptionists are actually holding here. Focusing on one tank at a time. The fire sword is down. Some concentrated, coordinated damage, and the Imperial Guard looking a little less than happy with the situation. So few women. So much damage. The Ogrins are doing their best, but the morale's been broken. What's going on over here? We've got the Orange Tyranids continuing their assault. Also been upgraded quite significantly as well, so able to get their infiltration on the go. Yeah, just these Redemptionists. Stupidly good. Reinforced at 250 blue and 45 green. They are not cheap whatsoever. But they do it. And now they can potentially do some sort of counter-attacking. Although very difficult when the Imperial Guard are as entrenched as they are at the moment. The Tyranids, though, can't necessarily say the same for themselves, though. These are ripping their way through whatever they can. There's more and more things from the Hive fleet get drop-podded in. There's some gargoyles. I like the idea of gargoyles. Normally not an amazing unit to have, but if you've got a bunch of Gene Stealers on the floor, stick a squad of gargoyles in the air. So you've got all this damage that they can't really do anything about. Very nice stuff. Whether they're going to achieve much or not, I don't think they are. But they're at least keeping the blue Tyranids inside the base for the moment. We'll see a pink at the moment. Plenty of Lehman Russes, a couple of Marauder bombers. And it's just madness. But relative calm now, as all the factions tend to reset themselves. We do still have empty rage with the vast majority of these strategic points, although they could really do with probably building up some listing posts on top of them as well. And here comes the pink. Poor Topper, he's been really shafted in this game. From the constant attack. Not just from one side, neither. When one assault ends, another begins. Can the massive upgraded Gene Stealers make the difference there? It's going to be a difficult game for him. But it seems like the Gene Stealers are just munching their way through all the infantry at the moment. So if they can kill the supporting units, tanks on their own might not do actually that much. Good lord, yeah, they're really powering through. After all, Gene Stealers at the beginning of the game, they are quite rubbish. But as the hive mind learns and grows, they become powerhouses in their own right. Though that may be the case, can they keep on keeping on? Tank's still alive. These are low on models at the moment. But morale been broken by the Tyranids killing what I can only assume was some sort of commander in there. It was a Primaris Psyker. Didn't see a general. While the Imperial Guard will defend with all their tanks and such, yeah, no, that was a good assault from the Gene Stealers there. We've got double Ogryns. Get involved in close combat. Switch off the Redemptionists' anti-vehicle weaponry. Follow up with some Casticans. The range support, plasma guns on your Lehman Russes. A recipe for destruction. Potentially. Now we've got the Vulture gunships in the air. As always, if you've got a superior melee force charging at you, well, just stick some things in the air. That'll sort them out. Now one Commissar Cadet up in there. Here comes the Ogryns. Been kept alive by the Priest's volitions. Oh, no, you're not. You're just dying. Never mind me. Because that Holy Light ability looks very similar to the Priest God Save the Emperor ability. And before the assault even began, the Imperial Guard are running backwards. Well, yeah, that's because we've got some Tyranid mischief. Follow these Raveners. And oh dear, right, well, coming from the tunnel, just when you least expect it. Topper thought he was safe by building a base up down here, but he was absolutely mistaken. And all the Gene Stealers, you could fit in a basket. The Redemptionists also making sure that the Imperial Guard can't come back straight away to defend. Significant amount of building damage being done by these rendering claws. Oh, it's just not Topper's game. Tanks are stabilising, but the Redemptionists are also traversing through this heavy cover as well. So their survivability will be increased. Even Rush Vanquisher moving forward to occupy the heavy cover as well. Could really do with some Tech Priest Engine Seers over here to repair things on the move. Over here the Pink Guard still being held back. Not by much. And it's the artillery that's really doing the Tyranids in here. Bit of a counter-attack as the Cascans run forward. And the Tyranids over here have been wiped out by a concentrated fire. Looked like a very dangerous situation there. St. Celestine, powerful, very strong unit. Got ridiculous health regen as well. Oh, and we're gonna Imperial Warhound Titan. Nice one. That's very fun. So while Topper might be on his way out potentially, I mean he'll still live, but like, you know, he's certainly picked the winning guardsman potentially. But the Saints is not going to take anything lying down due to the lack of... Oh, that's very unfortunate. Having to delete the Titan production building to get him out. If a St. Celestine could jump on top of him, start smacking him down. We do have a Uberfex. Just like a Carnifex, but even bigger. These Gene Stealers attempting to do something, not sure what. Probably their best, I imagine. And according to team compositions, unit compositions, who's gonna pull it off today. I mean, at this point, the Pink Imperial Guard may as well join forces with... have you joined forces? No, you have not. I might request to join with the Sisters and Tyranids, just because they don't really have any kind of way of taking anyone on in a 1 versus 2 scenario. And all these other boys have got big units, whereas at the moment, Dr. Shez is... He's got a Mars Pattern Command, but Baneblades up against Titans won't do much. Oh, but... Oh no, you're friendly Gene Stealers. You're happy, friendly Gene Stealers, minding your own business. Also got a nuclear weapon being built up. Gentle siege from the Pink Guardsmen. The Tyranids will probably not be broken by long-range artillery over time. But, you know, just keeps them on their toes, as it were. Here comes a big assault. Gene Stealers moving betwixt all the tanks. And here is where the push begins. Huge damage from the Leonrus Executioner. Just when they think that they're going to start opening fire against the tank, here comes the Titan and the Gene Stealers. Also, Stormblade being dropped down as well. Good heavens, the Redemptionists were thinking got a nice happy engagement against the Imperial Guard, but did not expect legions of infiltrated Gene Stealers coming over. Since Celestine starting to go up against the Titan, but I think she decided to do that a little bit too late. All this plasma gunfire knocking these sisters out and around. And is that the Saint dead? Did she get got? I think she did. Can't see those angelic wings anywhere. Yeah, 2v1 assault. All the more Gene Stealers coming down from the hive ship. What are you planning? I mean, you've got the units. Where are you planning to build up a fighting force to go up against Topper over here? I mean, on paper that makes sense, you know? Oh no, the sisters are deciding to leave. Ah, boo. Well, that's them dead.
Awaiting your command.
And now what? What's the plan here? It's the Tyranids up on the run. They've got 2 Uberfexes there. One melee, and the other one also melee. I suppose, you know, you've got your Venom cannons as well. Bit of both. Magma vent over here being spotted. So G.I. Jeff will know that something's going on. Also, a Tyranid nuke being dropped on top of G.I. Jeff's base. Yeah, I can only imagine the reason why G.I. Jeff was not coming in to defend the sisters was 1, because they weren't anticipating such a large assault from the Imperial Guard, and 2, he was probably waiting to build up his own fighting forces to properly wipe out the rest of Topper. Or maybe he was waiting for his sister comrade to die so he can stab her in the back. Maybe that was it. Anyway, it's hard to defend your own base when it's been assaulted by Titans, Stormblades, and also being nuked.
Identify our wretched target.
Uberfex is taking a lot of damage, but they do have a lot of health to contend with it. And yeah, this seems like a really powerful combination, to be fair. Upgraded Gene Stealers, Guardsman tank line, Well, everyone's been bothered by the tanks, the gene stealers. Come on in. Ruin the day. And there is a beautiful nuke killing friend and foe, mind you, but not a bad thing. A lot of them survive. That's not bad. Yeah, double nuking an enemy base, that is just a bit overkill. But it gets a job done, gosh darn it. It gets a job done. It seems like G.I. Jeff was storing up a whole bunch of spine gaunts without number, although I don't know if now this is going to make much of a difference. You have the Pink Guardsmen with their own big tanks finishing off Topper from up here. One man up against two players. I highly doubt it'll be enough, especially when these players have both got access to nuclear weapons. Are you building it? Well, I mean, they'll go on cooldown now, but only a matter of time. Neurophobes flanking the Leman-Russ Vanquisher. The Hive Tyrant goes up against another tank. How much longer can the Tyranids survive? They've got another Hive Spire round the back. But no, they've seen the writing and said, no more. We've done our best. And well, Dr. Shez has got 99 problems. They're all about to come and knock on his door. What have you got? I think no, you've not got anything in the way of nukes or Titans yourself. It's a modest build. Is what Dr. Shez has gone for. Here come the Gene Stealers. Just when the Doctor thought he was going to wipe out the base, the Tyranids have come back to roost. Good lord. Now the assault begins on the southern side as well. Yeah, just really surprising how these Gene Stealers all of a sudden become these mega units if you invest into them, although they are quite expensive. I mean, not now they're not expensive, 80 blue and 20 green. Actually, do their costs go up when you upgrade them? That would make sense. But I can also understand if that's not the case. Topper 1 has dropped from the team. Oh no, he's a little bit of spice added to the situation. He's thought to himself, right, I'm going to get a backstab in there, although there's no units inside his base at the moment. Although maybe he's doing the honourable thing, knowing they could not have won without the Imperial Guard's assistance. And so he said, right, well, you can have the solo victory here. Imperial Warlord Titan, soon to come out and play it. Shame that we didn't see one sooner, but it does. I mean, how much does a Warlord Titan cost? 6,800 blue and so much green you can't even shake a stick at it. Yeah, Topper taking the honourable way out, I reckon. That's Pink Guard. We've got nothing else really to give. How much money have you got? Got a fair bit of green money saved up. Nothing really to bring to the fore. We'll fast forward a bit just because I feel like as if there's a bit of a playing with our food elements here. Maybe we'll get one more big nuke on top of the Pink Guard base, which would be nice to see. Oh, for now, at least you're seeing the Imperial Warlord Titan. That's always fun. Huge unit. Yeah, here he comes. There he is. Look at the size of him. Iron Giant much. I mean, rockets the size of tanks, basically. Slow and lumbering there. What's your voice acting like?
By the Emperor's will, we are there.
Yep, you're loud. You are a loud boy. I mean, is this the slowest 360 no-scope in the history of 360 no-scopes? Potentially. Oh, no. Oh, he's just turning. Boo. We're going to get a bit of pizzazz there. Nope, not for us today. And surely Dr. Ches looks at us and says, you know what? I've still got this. There's still potential. Bayonet charge of conscripts. That's what'll save the day. You just gotta believe enough. A little tank battle going on over here. And even upgrading its weapons take a significant amount of time. Such a slow lumbering creature. Although if something genuinely that heavy walked that slow, would it not fall over? Or is it something to do with the hips? Maybe. You'd think so, really.
Taking hits!
Well, the assault is slow. But the men and the tanks are occupying the ground, making up that ground assault. One, fire your guns! There we are. Show us a full arsenal, rather than being a full arse. Yeah, that's just... can't really contend, can you? Well, that Vulture gunship, though, he's going to give it a try. Gosh darn it. Ah, boo. That's sad. First day on the job. Finally got his pilot's license. Then he's dead. Relatively calming though, really, listening to this. Like some sort of Imperial ASMR. Sounds to go to sleep to when you're on campaign. The distant explosions of cannons and ordnance and such. Yeah, there we go. Dodge shares kicked out the game, meaning that he's just left. Very nice stuff. So there we are, look, it's M2H42 winning the crown. It seems that the what's it called? The Sunmaker's Gambit, where basically if you've got two people who are looking too strong in the early game, people join up against them. It's really their inability to take out Topper early on. I think he was the real linchpin that allowed the Imperial Guard to get on it. But also having the access to the extra map control from the early defeated Dark Eldar really helped him there. And Pink Guy, you know, he did stuff. He was there. He lived. Dr. Shez, trying to take out Topper as well, but kind of just minding his own business. Not really being much of a player there, but surviving till the end. And that's the main thing, really, in a six-player free-for-all. So there we go. So cheers to Tiger Shark for highlighting this game to us, and thank you to the boys for playing this game, and thank you to you as well for watching at home. Want to support the channel? Have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you one game a week, and there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. That's been Mr. Landshark. Pleasure's always never short. Now, see you in a bit. Peace.